Today, this isn't a film, but rather a review of Spelljammer Adventures in Space for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Please pause the video if you're shocked that the Throne World plays D&D, and be sure to put your oxygen mask on before you help anyone else with theirs. Anyway, I have some thoughts about Dungeons & Dragons' latest, well, I would call this a setting, but only in the breathiest air quotes imaginable. Spelljammer is the most disappointing book I've seen from Wizards of the Coast in a long time. The first thing that I hated is how lazy the book is overall. All of the mechanics they think you need to know about space travel are explained in a few terse paragraphs with hardly any rules or even reasons you would need rules. In Spelljammer, outer space basically sounds like a bouncy castle full of jerks. Ships toddle around here for reasons? The only apparent purpose for having a crew is to man your ship's weapons, which you are encouraged not to use because they aren't as good as your character's abilities. All the ships are still covered in elaborate rigging, but that doesn't ever seem to need to be trimmed or adjusted by a crew for any purpose. The only person that seems to do anything at all on the ship is the Spelljammer, the spellcaster glued to the magic "Go to space today" chair. I don't think that you need anyone else at all, except maybe as extra hands at cards, or maybe to clean the jacuzzi on the Lido deck. The worst of their bad decisions, however, was making the depths of space into the astral sea. I'm sure someone thought this was super clever, as it ties up a lot of their limp cosmology in a tight little bow, but it basically ruins the entire concept of space travel. Traveling through the astral sea means you can't ever run out of air anymore, you don't ever get hungry or feel thirsty, you can't even get lost. You're just apparently able to think of anything you want and somehow find it. And you can't die of old age. So to sum up, everything cool and dangerous about space doesn't exist in D&D's magic space. Once you hit the astral sea, anyone can fly around without a ship even. In fact, they're probably faster than the ship, provided they weren't kicked in the head by a horse at some point. For no apparent reason, they bothered to include a section on fishing when you no longer need food. I guess everything needs a fishing minigame these days. Hey, every lich ever. What a dummy you are. All you should have done was fly out into space and immortality would be yours instantly in your still living body at no additional cost. Heck, the guy dragging your luggage around, he gets to be immortal too. This is the worst sort of adventure setting because they forgot to put any adventure in it. I don't even know why it's called Spelljammer since they left out the Spelljammer. I guess the art is really nice, but everything else is so ill thought out or haphazard. Like, there's Mind Flayer nautiloids that can literally just teleport wherever, but can't land. So what are they doing on them? Uh, is there an elder brain in the jacuzzi on the Lido deck? Beholders team up to make big beholder ships, so you can run into like a ship full of 10 beholders, and I've already pretty much given you just as much explanation for this as they did. The new races are fine. There's basically nothing new or interesting for characters otherwise. Honestly, I'm kinda sad I wasted my money on this one. Anything you think up for space travel would easily be as good as what they came with, and probably better if you've added in any, say, I don't know, danger, stakes, a reason to go, lore explaining any of the changes to creatures. They also, threw in some casually clueless racism for the space monkey people, but you have to buy the print copy to see that anymore as they've already scrubbed it out of the digital edition. In short, this is the worst thing I've seen from Wizards of the Coast in quite some time. For about the same price, I could probably round up most of the old PDFs or even physical copies of the second ed stuff on an auction site. Trust me, the time spent converting it will be about the same time that you'll need to fill in all the details for all the stuff they left out of their adventure setting. For starters, you'll probably need to cobble together a setting where adventures take place. They managed to leave that out somehow. So that's it. That's all from the Throne World for today. If you found this rant review helpful, please give it a like. And if you're interested in hearing more of my other ramblings, which are mostly spoiler-free reviews of television and movies, please subscribe to the channel. This has been the Throne World. Transmission ends.